Down goes Bama. The NFL has officially started, and the postseason is just around the corner. Welcome back to episode 35 of The Final Seconds.
Hey, you went flying Bentley Spur. Hey, you went driving around the world. Hey, you went brown like a squirrel. Hey, you went Chanel pearls. Hey, you went Rolls Royce car. Hey, you went Rolls Royce.
Welcome back to episode 35 of The Final Seconds. Aiden, how has your week been?
Well, it's been pretty good. Just been busy with football and school. You finally have been through your full first week of school, so congratulations.
5.5 days in. Going great. I have 4 A's. There's 8 classes. I don't have grades in any of the other ones, so I got a 4.0 this year. Got to keep it up. That's the goal. Me and Aiden unintentionally match, same wavelength, even though we are not that good, Ohio State, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hopping right in. College football recap from last weekend. Washington State defeats number 19 Wisconsin 31-22. Surprising for Luke Fickell. And will Wisconsin and Ohio State will Washington State and Oregon State find a conference? You can't just write OSU. Like, what?
I thought you would know.
Well, I think first Ohio State, and then my, really close friends, they're like family, to me, are Oklahoma State fans. So I have a bunch of Oklahoma State stuff. So that's where my mind goes to secondly. Oregon State is the last resort.
Okay. That was a surprising game. Washington State played really well. Mitch Ward, their QB, is a big playmaker. He can run. He's very fast.
What's his name?
Mitch Ward, I'm pretty sure.
That is so crazy. One of my close friends at school, his name is Mitchell Ward. Dead serious. Snapped his leg, first game of the season, both bones. But that's besides the point. Sorry, continue.
No, he played really well. He made a bunch of plays down the field. And then I think, this is a huge help. The Washington State coach was talking at the end of the game. This is going to hopefully, open the eyes of the other conferences that have taken up in a bunch of the Pac-12 teams, and hopefully can get Washington State and Oregon State at home. Because, now Washington State's ranked this week, so it definitely was a big win for them and for, their team to find a spot.
Yeah, definitely. Oregon State, I'm surprised they haven't found a conference. They've been good the past 2 years. So that's surprising to me that they are still conferenceless. I think definitely they will. It's hard to tell. If they don't get picked up, there will be more teams that will mean that other teams are coming. I think that's the only situation where they don't go to another conference. If other teams are like, hey, teams from the Mountain West Conference or whatever, can we join the Pac-2? Pac-12. It's a joke. And that's the only situation where both those teams stay, I see.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Number 20, Ole Miss defeated number 24 Tulane 37-20. Tulane almost pulled off the upset. It was a close game until the last couple minutes. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah. I watched the end of it. I was I had multi-view on the YouTube TV.
Yeah.
YouTube TV. And so it was on. I was paying attention to it sort of, but yeah. I think it doesn't really, the score doesn't really. Did you just hear anything I was saying?
No, we lost you.
You cut out. Okay. Again, for you guys at home watching or wherever you are, really, sometimes it cuts out. It hasn't happened in a while. It means Aiden has bad internet. And you guys it'll look normal for you guys, but I can't hear him. He can't hear me. We're both frozen. What I was saying was, I think the score doesn't represent how good and close of a game this was. It was definitely one of the more entertaining wins, and I thought and hoped Tulane would win this game, and it didn't disappoint. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, Tulane was, I mean, They're a good team. They're solid. They're gonna run their conference and they'll be back ranked even though they lost. But it would have been a huge win for their program. But they had a good culture. Like after watching the game, they kind of kept fighting against a SEC team, which comes from like a powerhouse of the conferences. So
Yeah.
that was a good game for Tulane. Even though they lost, it was good for their team.
Okay, so some of the top games that we've advertised, or like the games that we think are going to be really good, have been all bad. Not all bad, but like most of the games that are like this is the top game of the week, two really good colleges, they haven't been as close as I thought. This game was pretty close, but then Alabama struggled big time second half, especially fourth quarter. Their quarterback, hot take, terrible. I hate that guy. He is not good. He is too scramble like easy. He doesn't know how to sit in the pocket, and that'll come with experience. But whenever he feels anything, non-existent pressure, he is out of there. And he's got a great deep ball, but his short passing is not super accurate, especially when he's trying to roll out, make passes on the run. He threw a pick, just a terrible ball. And it was one of those where he rolled out. I just think he's gotta learn to sit in the pocket some more for longer.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Milroe, I don't hate him. It's his second game of his career, and right now that's the biggest game of his career. You had Texas. It's a huge game, and I'm sure nerves got to him. I agree. He definitely rolled this out too quickly, and I think with time he'll learn to sit in the pocket a little bit more. But Texas defense constantly got pressure on him, so I think like the plays that he didn't get pressure, or it like wasn't like he'd roll out immediately. Maybe it is because he knows that he's gonna get sacked or the pressure's gonna come, and Alabama's O-line didn't play that great. So, but I think he can hopefully learn. I think Alabama will hopefully figure things out.
Hopefully, what are you saying? You're an Ohio State fan. Who are you, bud?
And I'm pretty sure.
Alabama figures things out after they have 3 losses and are out of contention.
Okay. We'll move on from Bama. You think Texas is legit?
No,
Quinn Ewers?
No. What?
No. You think Texas is legit with Quinn Ewers?
Yeah. That's a Buckeye. No, I'm not claiming him. That's a joke. Yeah, I think Quinn Ewers is a great quarterback. He got hurt last year in the game, and he was just hurt last year in general. And he had his flashes of greatness, and I think they're definitely a potential threat.
Yeah, no, Quinn Ewers looked very comfortable. He looked like he was well prepared. I think he played a lot. He kind of the game slowed down for him, which I think was good for him. And he played really well. And I'm excited to see Texas because I feel like we've never like me and you, we've never really witnessed Texas being really good. It's usually Bama or Clemson, so it'll be fun to see if Texas.
Ohio State. My gosh, you are so. Or Georgia. What are you saying? Get off your show.
Okay.
Our show now. One game you didn't put up there. I wonder. It's your favorite quarterback, Drake May. They beat Appalachian State in double overtime. Drake May is terrible.
Yeah, he didn't play. He hasn't played well. I don't know. I'm not.
Guess who called it? This guy. Drake May stinks. Okay, moving on. Games of the week. Number 7, Penn State versus Illinois. Don't know how this is game of the week. Is Penn State as good as everyone says they are? I think week 1 was a learning game with their new freshman quarterback, but he looked really solid this past week. I think I think they'll be a 1-loss team this year. They'll lose to either Ohio State or Michigan. I don't think they win both those games. I think they're definitely progressing, and they could be very scary next year with their quarterback when their quarterback has a year of experience under the belt.
You know, they've been looking really well now. They haven't played really anyone.
Yeah.
And
It's
this is
hard to tell, especially this early in the season. Most teams haven't played anybody.
well, this is a good test. I mean, going to Illinois, not saying Illinois is a super tough environment, but you finally go on the road. You got all these young guys going on the road for their first time, so all the fans are going to be against them. You're not playing in Happy Valley anymore. So I think it'll be a good test for Penn State. I think they'll probably start out a little slow, but they'll catch their feet, and I think they'll run away with the game.
For sure. I agree with that. 14 LSU versus Mississippi State. Can LSU get a big road win in conference? I think so. I think Mississippi State is a good team, especially when it comes to like big games. Mississippi State is generally like they show up. They give teams a run for their money.
Yeah.
I think this is a close game, but I think LSU pulls it off.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all we got. Okay, Colorado State versus 18 Colorado. This is the Rocky Mountain Showdown, a big rivalry. Will this be close? No.
No.
Travis Hunter for Heisman.
Colorado's gonna they're gonna kill Colorado State. There's not really any great games this weekend. There's no ranked teams playing ranked teams, so
yeah, I saw that.
Best game of the week, but
yeah,
I think Colorado is gonna own the state.
Job. Moving on to quick pick. So this past week, I went 17-5. Aiden went 20-3, which brings our overall records to drumroll, please. Drumroll, please.
Oh.
43-11 and 47 and what are you? 47 and
yeah, oh my gosh.
I didn't write down. I literally wrote down everything except you're losing because we got into like whatever.
Yeah.
Aiden messed up. 43-11 to 47-7. That sounds correct. I am down 4 whole games, but I'm making a comeback. This is the week.
It's still early.
It's still early, exactly. This is not how I wanted to start off.
Don't you love...
Whose grandma did they name this after? Bethune Cookman. Sorry if I mispronounced that. You are ridiculous. You really are making up these names at this point. Versus number 22, Miami. Oh my gosh. If Bethune Cookman wins, they're not even in college. I'm sure Miami has a bye week this week, and Aiden's just trying to mess with me. It's just not real. Unreal. We're starting. Of course you put that first, too. You knew I was going to...
I think they play Thursday night. Thursday night football.
Ridiculous.
Go watch Cookman.
They're not a real team. You got Miami, too?
Yeah, Miami blows them out.
Western Kentucky versus number 6 Ohio State. Go Bucks.
OSU.
Kyle McCord, by the way, named the starter.
Yep, QB1.
I love that. Devin Brown, not a fan.
Yeah.
Number 3, Florida State versus Boston College. Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State.
Number 7, Penn State versus Illinois. Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State as well.
Number 14, LSU versus Mississippi State. Close one, LSU.
Yep, I completely agree. LSU.
Number 15, Kansas State versus Missouri.
I got Kansas State close though. I think they'll be like a 1 touchdown game, maybe a 10-point game.
Do you know Kansas State's quarterback?
It was the Nebraska kid last year, Martinez or
yeah. Missouri. I've got this as my upset.
All right.
So we've got a grill playing number 12 Utah, Weber State. Got a whole grill line versus number 12 Utah. I've got Utah in this one.
Same, yeah, Utah.
Central Michigan versus number 9 Notre Dame.
Notre
Notre
Dame.
Dame is looking really dominant. I have Notre Dame.
Yep.
Number 1 Georgia versus South Carolina. I have this being a close game going into halftime.
I agree.
And then
Georgia,
it being a not close game.
yeah,
Final score.
Georgia will pull out. But yeah, I agree.
Number 10 Alabama versus South Florida.
Bama blowout.
Yeah.
They might start out a little slow in the first quarter, but I think they blow out.
For sure. 16 Oregon State versus San Diego State.
Oregon State.
Agreed. Oregon State. Oklahoma versus Tulsa. Number 19 Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. A little bit closer though, because it's their first road game.
I picked against Oklahoma last week. Got it wrong. I really want to do it again. And I'm going to. Let's go, Tulsa. Upset. Number 20 North Carolina versus Minnesota.
I'm going North Carolina.
I've got North Carolina. But Drake May has another bad game. 21 Duke versus Northwestern. Duke is a legit team this year.
Yeah, no, Duke was good last year. They've been kind of pretty. They've been pretty good.
I really like Duke.
I do too.
I'm gonna go with them.
Same.
Who are you gonna go with?
Duke.
Duke. Western Michigan versus number 25 Iowa. Iowa.
Close game. Iowa by a little bit. Probably a touchdown.
Okay. Number 8 Washington versus Michigan State.
Washington kills Michigan State.
Yeah, I agree.
The Mel Tucker. I think that Michigan State is gonna have a terrible year.
Mel Tucker, what a guy. I mean, not a guy. That's not what I meant. I mean it like that. I meant like
move on.
Yeah. Michigan State actually has a really tough schedule this year.
Who?
Michigan State.
Oh.
Can I? You talk. 1 second. Blah 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 blah. Michigan State. Michigan State. Michigan State. Michigan State. Michigan State. Michigan State. I'm just trying to find. We can't just sit here in silence.
Okay. I'll go to the next game.
No.
Well, I don't think people care about Michigan State that much.
I do. 1 sec. Their schedule is actually really tough, though.
When they play Ohio State,
number 8 Washington. Then in 2 weeks they play number 25 Iowa. And then 2 weeks after that, number 2 Michigan. And then 3 weeks after that, number 6 Ohio State. And then 2 weeks after that, number 7 Penn State. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 teams ranked inside the top 8, and 5 teams within inside the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the toughest schedule.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough schedule.
College football this year.
I don't know about that, but
it is true. Northern Colorado. Central Colorado State, Colorado, Northern Colorado. Nobody cares about football in Colorado. Stop making college. Versus number 23 Washington State.
Washington State.
Yep, I agree. You read this one.
North Carolina's Central versus number 24 UCLA.
Again, with the North Carolina State, North Carolina Central.
Okay, UCLA
Dang,
wins.
stop being original. UCLA. Number 11, Tennessee versus Florida. Like, good. North Carolina Central. Get out of here.
Tennessee, closer though. Closest
Limited
game.
to one college per state.
Okay.
Tennessee, not close. Number 2, Michigan versus Bowling Green. I've got this being a close game after the first half, but Michigan always is. They're such a slow offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Wolverines.
Number 17, Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech.
Ole Miss. In a
Yeah,
beatdown.
in a close game. Wyoming versus number 4, Texas. I got Texas in blowout.
Yeah.
13, Oregon, Hawaii. Oregon in a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado 18 versus Colorado State. Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado gets the Rocky Mountain Showdown win.
Moving on to the NFL recap from last week. Lions defeated Chiefs in the first NFL football game of the season, 21-20. Did Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, you forgot a name in there, Kadarius Toney, majorly affect the Chiefs?
Travis Kelce, yes.
And Chris Jones,
I think Chris Jones, yeah. He just signed a contract, so he's going to be back.
I don't think Chris Jones affected him that much. The Lions didn't run the ball a ton.
Yeah.
And Chris Jones stops the run. He stuffs it. But Gibbs, a lot of outside runs. Montgomery didn't really have any runs. It was just up the gut, 3 yards. I don't think he mattered that much.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney mattered a lot. He struggled that game.
Yeah. No, I think, no, I think Patrick, he didn't have his number one guy to go to. And it definitely affected him. 20 points is kind of, I feel like, low for Kansas City. I feel like they usually always put up at least 30 a game.
But I think even with your tight end one out, I think still that's a poor performance for Patrick Mahomes.
Well, yeah. And I'm going to give Lions credit. They played well.
Absolutely.
Especially going into Kansas City, the banners, first game of the season, Super Bowl stuff, all that. Lions came in and they played well and they got the win.
Yeah.
And a bunch of Lions fans were anticipating that. Like, the tickets this weekend for the Lions first home opener, it's like $270 for the lowest ticket.
Yeah, I was going to say the Lions are
sold
going to
out.
the Super Bowl. Packers defeat Bears 38-20. Bears looked very sloppy. Packers look like they still own the Bears, and Jordan Love looks like the new Aaron Rodgers. New and improved Aaron Rodgers.
He looks good. Fields look terrible.
The Bears' offseason was terrible. They didn't do anything to help their O-line, which was their biggest problem.
Yeah.
Anything major.
Yeah.
They signed DJ Moore, who they didn't really need a receiver, but I'm glad they signed him. And the defense looked so bad. They made Jordan Love look like a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
Bears
I don't know.
Team, Justin Fields, had no time almost every play. He didn't have a great game. He struggled.
Yeah.
But still, just overall bad. The Bears look terrible.
Yeah. I'm surprised that their defense is so bad because they have Matt Eberflus, who used to be the DC in Indy, and he's now the head coach in Chicago. I feel like their defense should get better, but 38 points is not getting better at all. And the Bears kind of came back, and they were in the game. I think they're down by 10 points, and then the Packers drive right down the field to score another touchdown. It's like they just no one could get a break on defense or offense. It was a bad game for the Bears.
I think this is proving that, the Bears are just a tough team to rebuild right now because Matt Nagy, everybody wanted him fired. He becomes the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, wins a Super Bowl in his first year. Eberflus supposed to be really good. Defensive coordinator, still look terrible.
Yeah.
I think the Bears are just a tough team right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do.
They've got a couple guys, and they're trying to build off that, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Jets defeat Bills 22-16 in an overtime stunner. Aaron Rodgers injured on the 5th play from scrimmage, if I'm correct.
I think, yeah, something like that. Out for the season, ACL.
It was his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
They said it was his ankle, like in the game. It was like ankle.
They said it was his ACL meniscus. That's what it said. And he's out for the season. Yeah. Zach Wilson's a starter.
I thought it was his Achilles.
Yeah, something. It might have been. I don't know. He's out for the season.
Oh, you don't know your facts. I'll look it up.
I'll talk about Josh Allen played terrible. He had 3 picks and 1 fumble. And yeah, the Bills looked really bad. Like 16 points. The Jets defense is really good. I think everyone kind of knew that going into the game. But Josh Allen is going to face a lot better teams going down the stretch, especially if they're trying to make a playoff run. And he played really bad. Like, you can't have 4 turnovers. Like, they deserve to lose that game. When they kicked that game-tying field goal, I was kind of mad because the Jets, their defense did everything they could. And, Aaron Rodgers, they couldn't help that Aaron Rodgers went out.
You were wrong. I was right. A complete tear of Rodgers' Achilles tendon.
Got you.
ACL and MCL. What are you saying? No, I totally agree with your take on Josh Allen. 4 turnovers by him alone is miserable. You cannot have that and win a football game.
Yeah.
3 picks is so sloppy.
Yeah.
I know the Jets have a good defense, but that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, the Bills couldn't run the ball. They looked brutal on offense. And then I think that the Bills Josh Allen, I think this season is kind of on a hot seat a little bit. They make it to the playoffs, they win the division. They've done that for a while now, but they haven't made it to the Super Bowl. So I feel like, I'm not saying he's going to be out of his spot after this season. I'm not saying that, but he definitely, he needs to, their division's tough. It keeps getting tougher every year. The Patriots looked really well on Sunday. The Dolphins got to win. The Jets beat them. So they don't have an easy division to win. And then they also need, I think they haven't made playoff runs, and I think that is kind of, I think Buffalo definitely wants a playoff run.
Yeah, the Madden curse is real for sure. Okay. Games of the week. Ravens Bengals. Can Cincy bounce back after a terrible week 1? Joe Burrow had 3 fantasy points. I know that because I played against him and still lost.
They only had 3 points. They played terrible. Really bad.
Yeah. T. Higgins might as well not even come onto the field. He had 0 receptions. Jamar Chase had 60 yards. Just terrible game. He signed a new contract. He doesn't want to play. No, I'm joking. But I think that was a fluke. I think they lose again, but I think they play a better game.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's overreacting. They're like, oh my gosh, Cleveland is this new insane team. Cleveland's not an insane team yet. No. Bengals just played terrible. I think they can win this weekend. Their offense needs to play a lot better. Their defense kind of kept them in the game in the earlier part, and then eventually everything just broke loose in the second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Burrow, I don't know. I think it was a big shock because he's always played well, and I think everyone's kind of really surprised on how bad the offense played. So.
For sure. Chiefs Jaguars rematch from the divisional. Will Kansas City bounce back? Jags struggled offensively week 1. They did. They still got the win. I think the Chiefs win this one.
Yeah. I think they do too. Jags, they were very slow in the start of their game,
For sure.
and
They
then
didn't really win it until the
Mhm.
later in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and then I mean KC, they get. I think Travis Kelce should be healthy this weekend. It's not for sure, but I think
I
he's
think
gonna
so
be
too.
back. And then Chris
Yeah.
Jones, they just got a new deal, so he's gonna be playing this weekend. So they should be at full force. Yeah, I like him in this matchup. I feel like the Jaguars are gonna be like they're gonna start out slow in the season and they're gonna pick it up later in the season.
Yeah, I think
Even
that's
though
a
they're
great take.
1-0, our division is not very good. So
Dolphins versus Patriots. Patriots didn't look horrible. Big AFC East game. I think the Dolphins still win. They looked amazing.
yeah, they did look really good. Patriots surprisingly matched up with the Eagles pretty well.
Yeah.
Eagles also made a couple mistakes. And the Patriots, they were driving down to score the game-winning touchdown, and you saw the catch where he didn't get both feet in.
Yeah. It looks like it catch real time, but when they slowed it down.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be a
Great
close
game though by the Patriots.
This game I think is gonna be close though.
I agree. I think this will be a great game, but I see the Dolphins winning this one.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with New England.
Okay. Before we get into quick pick real quick, can we talk about the rookie quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Bryce Young struggled through 2 picks. Anthony Richardson had a touchdown, or 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 rushing, and a pick. CJ Stroud had no touchdowns, no picks. They all had decent amount of yards, nothing crazy. Who do you think looked the best?
I'm gonna say Richardson. He definitely looked the best. I also think though the Colts are more a sophisticated franchise than the Panthers and Texans right now. I feel like the Texans and Panthers are in a deeper rebuilding stage than the Colts are. They have a bunch of players that are around that are, young
They're
but not
older, they're good.
Yeah,
We've got a shot, but we're just not the next level yet.
Yeah.
Which is a tough stage because it's the stage where generally you are after you have a really good season.
Yeah.
But we did not. So we've just been struggling to find a quarterback for the past since Andrew Luck retired.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick pick. Vikings Eagles.
You want to say a record from last week or no?
Oh shoot, we were both 9-7. So we're tied for that.
Yep.
Quick pick. Vikings Eagles.
I'm gonna go with Philly. Close game though.
Sam. Colts Texans.
Indy.
Texans.
Ooh.
Nothing against the Colts. I love the Colts. I think Mr. Ballard is a great manager. Jets versus Cowboys.
Dallas.
I agree. Yep.
They had a beatdown on the Giants last week.
Packers Falcons.
Packers.
Agreed. Close game, I think. Raiders Bills. Bills.
Yeah, Bills bounce back. I think actually it'll be a little bit. I think it'll be kind of close. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will play decent.
I hope Devonta Adams goes off. I have him on my fantasy team. Ravens Bengals. Ravens.
Cincy.
Seahawks Lions. Lions.
I'm gonna say Lions. Close game though. I think the Seahawks will keep it really close.
This will be one of the more exciting games, I think, for sure. Titans Chargers. Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
Bears Buccaneers. Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Buccaneers too. I picked the Bears last week, and I don't have faith in them after what
Yeah.
happened last week.
Chiefs, Jags. I have the Chiefs.
Yeah, KC.
49ers, Rams. 49ers, Cooper Kupp is injured.
Yeah, Niners. I think it'll be close in the first half. 49ers will kind of pull away though.
Yeah. Who should I'm picking up Brock Purdy because Aaron Rodgers was my backup, and Geno Smith is my other quarterback. Who should I start?
Brock.
Okay. I think the Lions defense is tough. I think that's smart. Giants versus Cardinals.
Giants.
This is a terrible game. Both teams stink.
I think the Giants will bounce back.
Okay, I'll go with you. I'll go Giants. Commanders, Broncos. Broncos country. Let's try. Sam Howell, this as the starter is crazy. I do not know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go Broncos, but both teams. I mean, Commanders won last week, but Broncos. Both teams aren't great.
No.
I still don't have faith in
Dolphins.
them.
Yeah, Dolphins, Patriots.
New
Talked about
England.
this one. I'm taking the Dolphins. Saints, Panthers.
I'm gonna take Saints.
I'll take the Panthers. Who do you say in that last one? You said the Dolphins?
No, I said New England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Browns, Steelers. Browns.
I'm gonna go Browns too. Steelers did nothing on offense, so I'm gonna go Browns.
Najee Harris got me 5 points. Nice. Moving on to the MLB discuss. If playoffs started today, the Astros, Orioles, Dodgers, and Braves would get the bye. Wild card games would be Twins versus Mariners, Blue Jays versus Rays, Brewers versus Diamondbacks, and Cubs versus Phillies. That would be awesome if the playoffs started today. Those are some great wild card games.
Yeah, I know they are. The Rangers aren't gonna make it in this though. If you see, the Rangers aren't on there,
It's just crazy.
and it's between them, the Mariners, and the Blue Jays, who are kind of fighting for the spot right now. The Blue Jays and Mariners are in, but only two teams obviously will make it between those.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, the Rangers hit that huge losing streak, and it's still like coming back to haunt them. Like they played, I mean, they were in the first place for the whole year, and then had that big losing streak, and
Yeah, that kills. Especially
Yeah.
when it's a pretty close division.
Yeah, when you got the Stros that are now in first, and then the Mariners like a game back, and the Rangers are, I think, 2 back.
Yeah.
It's all very close.
I think that would be an awesome wild card, though. Or an awesome... Yeah, an awesome... It would be awesome if the playoffs started today.
Yeah. The Brewers and Diamondbacks, I feel like I could see the D-backs winning that if they did start today.
I could see it going either way. It's tough to tell.
I think it'd be 1-1 or 1-1, and then game 3, I think the D-backs would, I think, win.
I like that. I could see that happening. I could
Yeah.
see really anything happening. I could see a sweep of both teams. I could see it being 1-1 and the other team winning. That's a tricky one.
Yeah, I will say in the wild card last year, I might be wrong on this, but I think there was one game that was forced to a 3-game series in the wild card. Everything else is a sweep. I think the wild card's so short that whoever wins like the first game is gonna win probably the series.
Okay, but it's just like a series in like the regular season, except it's the playoffs.
Yeah. And also the only the higher seed is at home the whole series.
That's
so you
true.
don't go back and forth.
Yeah, that's I don't like that. I think they should rotate.
I like it.
Game 1, higher seed. Game 2, lower seed. And if it comes to a game 3, you go back to the higher seed.
I know, but then you have to put in a travel day, and then the wild card takes forever to get done when it's only 3 games.
Yeah.
So.
Cubs Phillies would also be really good. I see the Cubs winning that, but no bias.
Well, the Cubs played terrible this past weekend against the D-backs.
Lost
3-1 in that
terrible.
series.
Yeah.
And the Phillies, I think they can go to the World Series. I'm not saying the Cubs can't beat them. I think it'd be a great series, though. It's in Philadelphia. It'd be in Philadelphia, which is a very, very tough environment.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it'd be a great series.
It would be in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
They're the number 1 in the wild card.
They're a 4. We're a 5 seed.
So they're the number 1 seed in the wild card, though. They're the first team in.
Yeah.
And we're second because there's 3 teams that make the wild. Yeah.
The Diamondbacks are last, and the Brewers are the second. Yeah.
Okay.
The third.
Is that you got anything else?
No, I'm.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in on episode 35 of the Final Seconds. See you guys next week for episode 36.
See ya.
My neck got little big sharks on my ankles. I drape out all my bra, I cut the Bengals. I go military boys with the angles.